Hello, it's me, Rosie Fitz. I'm back with Tantric Tips with Rosie Fitz. Before we get started, do the thing, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Do it, please. So I know that you like what I'm doing, and I'm putting out tons of good videos, so get on it. Okay, today we are going to talk about how to be submissive in the bedroom. Now this is, as I'm going gently into kink, I'm giving you the little bite-sized version. I'll probably do more videos on kink because I am a professional dominatrix, a goddess, and I have some interesting things to say on it, but I want to start you off with just like a bite size. So this is like submission for beginners, and it's so little. Okay, so I would say the very first thing that you need to do as a new submissive, somebody who's just discovered like, oh, I feel good, like this actually feels really good for me to just surrender, is make sure that the person that you are surrendering to, that you are being submissive to, is safe. Make sure they're worthy of your surrender. Okay? You need to know that they have your back, that they have researched everything they're going to do to you, that they know how to do it safely, that they understand boundaries, that they care about your wants and needs. I am generally, well, in my own personal life, one of the things I do professionally and have for many years is be a dominant. My own personal life, I would say I'm a switch, maybe. Sometimes I'm a pillow princess. Sometimes I'm like, I've set up sexy things for everybody, just bring me on a ride. I'm a number of things. But, when I've gone to kink parties and play parties, I generally go in more of my dominant expression. But I'm always open to try new things. And one time I had this guy who's quite well known as a dom in my community who was like, oh, well, I bet you, nobody has spanked you like I could spank you. And I have a very beautiful, voluptuous Callipygian butt, right? I'm known as the Callipygian goddess because I got some junk in the trunk. So I said, yeah, you know what, go ahead. Give me a spanking. And he asked me like, where do you want me to take you on a pain level? And I said like, let's go to a 5. And he spanked and to like test out what was what. And I was like, okay, here's a 5. And he went in for more spanks. And I was like, dude, that's over a 5. I just told you what a 5 was, back it up. More spanks. I'm like, again, that's not a 5. That's a 7. Like, back it up. And he would not listen. He wanted to continue to push my boundaries on pain when I was really clear I only wanted to go to a 5 with him. So he was not a safe person. And, there's many ways. I probably, it was a kink party. I was like, oh yeah, okay, we can do this. But probably if I had had more conversation with him, I would have realized this is not somebody actually I want to play with. Quickly in conversations, it will come out whether somebody can listen to your boundaries or not. And that's so important because even though, your job is to submit, is to let go, things need to be set up, first of all, so that you know that you can let go safely. So make sure whoever you're playing with is safe to be playing with. Number 2, they will probably do this. If they don't bring this up to you, that's your red flag that they're not safe to play with. But you're going to need to set up some safe words. You're going to need to actually talk to them about your wants and needs and your fantasies and your desires prior to playing with them. And this is deeply important, right? Because it's not like the dominant just does whatever they want and you have to just take it. That is not the interplay. You guys are actually playing this beautiful, very sexy game of a power dynamic where you're both getting off on what's happening. You by being submissive, the dominant by being dominant. But they, in order to be a good dom to you, they need to know what turns you on, what triggers you, what is a hard no for you, right? What definitely do you not want to go to? And if they don't know those things, then you may get to places where you're like, oh shit, this is a no. So make sure that, and sometimes you don't know what those places are until you go there. So make sure you have a safe word, right? Make sure you set up safe words. Like I usually do, yellow is like I'm getting close, I'm feeling uncomfortable, but I'm willing to continue. Red is like stop, hard stop. Okay, so make sure you guys have set that up prior to playing. Now that you know this person is safe, you've created this beautiful safe container with your dominant. They know your desires, you know what they expect from you. That's part of the conversation as well. It is your job to let go. You are going to just let go and submit and be of service. So, there's a lot of different ways to be submissive. Some people are really bratty in their submissiveness. Some people are deeply into service. There are many realms that you can explore. So explore that and figure that out with your dom. But I have to say, one of the things that I will not accept from any submissive is topping from the bottom. Once everything is set up, it's your time to let it go. And if you then are trying to micromanage and rearrange the scene, for me as a dominant, I'm like, that's when I stop. And I'm like, bye-bye. Bye-bye, we're done for today. Nothing annoys me more. So really getting into a space where you can allow yourself to let go and fully submit to what is happening. And then again, you've got your, yellow, like I'm getting to a place where I'm uncomfortable. We might have to tread lightly. And you've got your red, which is stop right now, or whatever the safe words are that you make. But you've created a safe enough container that you should be able to completely just let yourself ease into what's gonna happen, right? Okay, and then lastly, you are going to do some aftercare. Now, this is part of the conversation, so it happens afterwards, but part of the conversation that happens before the play is that you talk about what your needs are going to be for aftercare. And you say, I actually am really going to need to be cuddled, and I want you to hand feed me, and I want you to stroke my hair to bring me back. Or you're going to be like, I actually don't want you to touch me at all. If you could just sit with me and get me some water, that would be great. And this is really a time when your dominant is very much in service to you, and they are really truly in service to you the whole time. The dominant, the person who's being dominant in this scenario actually has to be very nurturing and really takes care of everything and creates the scene that you're going to play in. And then they're going to take care of you at the end when you've gone through all of that. And sometimes you're going to have gone through something very transformational. You're going to have experienced some pain that has really heightened your pleasure. And a little tip for dominance, make sure that the pain always is heightening the pleasure unless you have somebody who gets off on pain and pain by itself. So for your submissive, as a submissive, you may have just gone through this experience where you've learned pain that moves into pleasure, where you have completely surrendered in a way that you never have before, where you've gone into subspace, and you're going to need your dominant to kind of pull you back into the room. So let them know really clearly how that looks, what they can do to support you. And you're going to have to also, I love it when my submissives truly are of service to me, that they're checking in. They're like, what do you need as a dominant? How can I make your life easier? Because I recognize that you're doing all this setting up for me. You're doing all of this taking care of everything for me. So how can I make your life easier? Do you need aftercare? Like for me as a dominant, I often need aftercare as well. And just in the sense of I need to connect with my submissive. I need to check in and be like, how did that feel? I need to debrief to make sure I didn't push any boundaries that they weren't able to speak up about, that maybe didn't come up. Okay, so there's like, the aftercare is important. Okay, that is, I've got so much to say about this, but I'm just committed to doing these tiny little bite-sized videos to get us started. There will be more. So watch for the next video where I'm going to talk about aftercare. I think I'm going to talk about levels of consent in there as well. I think that's an important one to put in there. Or it might be its own video. I'm not sure right now. But do all that other good stuff. Like, subscribe, so that you can get all this content. I'm going to be putting out lots of bite-sized, very palatable little bits about sex, about kinkiness, about sexuality, about tantra, about all of this yumminess. Okay, I'm Rosa Bits. I'm out.